Good evening, guys. Another episode of FodCast. This time I have one of your seniors from the 2015 graduating batch, and boy, he has a story to tell. So please keep your ears glued, eyes open, and opinions pretty broad enough to accept any information that is going to come to you. It's going to crash into your existing prejudices or concepts about things. You're going to change a lot of opinions about the corporate sector, but more than that, you're going to change your entire view of what placement, selection, rejection, and all those things mean. With me, I have today Sayan Nath, 2015 graduating batch. Sayan, tell me something about your batch, about your stream, and basically where you have gone from there.
Hello guys, hello sir. I have passed out KIIT in 2015 from the Electronics and Electrical department,
Yeah.
and I have worked in PWC, and now I'm working in RSM as the offshore lead of the analytics, data science, and automation practice, bridging the gap mainly between the US and the Indian clients, and I'm trying to expand and grow as we speak.
So, Shayan, the names that you just mentioned, the corporate brands that you, I mean, many of my listeners would love to be a part of that brand. But how's the journey? Is it easy? Is it difficult? Let's talk about your placement journey, the hits and misses of your placement season 2014-15. How was that?
You you gotta be kidding me.
Why?
I don't think I had any hits. If you remember, 19 rejections from on-campus placements, and
Hmm.
I got selected in TCS during an off-campus
Okay.
placement.
Okay.
So it was all misses.
It's
So
all misses. You left KIIT without an offer letter in your hand, and now within
yep,
within 5 years you are dishing out offer letters to others, being a recruiter. That's awesome news. Hey,
yeah,
what's this T-shirt you are wearing? Is this a part of your misses as well?
yeah, it is right, and this is mainly a reminder of one of the biggest failures, which I turned into an achievement as I grew as a person. This is from SAP Labs that kind of came into recruit during 2015 of our batch, and I was the only person from electronics and electrical to clear all those rounds and go up the ladder
Okay.
to the last round.
Electronics and electrical. You are partially core, aren't
Yep,
you?
yeah, I
You are
was.
a core sector guy, and you were sitting for a IT sector company. And
Yeah,
which round did you reach?
I reached the last round. I cleared four rounds of interviews, including the written, and then I got rejected on the last round.
Rejected in the last. How do you, now that you are in the corporate sector, you have been through
Hmm.
multinational brands that inspire
Yeah,
every other youngster out here. Have you changed your definition of rejection? What does the word rejection mean to you now?
rejection. Now, if you ask me personally, rejection is the stepping stone. It's a ladder that makes you better as a person. It helps you improve on things that you once felt that could never be done. It's like a catalyst that drives you to become a better person and be a wolf,
What
isn't
is that? Be a wolf. can,
be a
can you
wolf.
expand on that? What is that? I am hearing it for the first time. Is this your code? Be a wolf.
Yeah, so for me, the way I have always been, and you know me in person really well, so I have never given up. I have always looked for opportunities. I have planned myself in that a way that I can be better, and I have grabbed on every opportunity that I have got or I have received in college, in the corporate life. I have always hated, and this is one thing that I would like to share to the current batch in the university right now. Try not to be a sheep, and by that what I mean, don't follow the crowd. Don't try to stay in your comfort zone, because it is very easy to stay in your comfort zone, because that's what we all like, right? Being in my comfort zone. But if you want to grow as an individual, if you want to progress through the ranks and try to be a better achiever, then you have to be a wolf
Can you be a bit
and jump
explicit?
on
I mean, I think
opportunities.
we are doing a lot of similes out here. Wolf, sheep,
Yeah.
opportunities. Can you give an example? Like, can you give some people and brands and years, etc. That will make it clearer.
Yeah. So, like I said, right, I never got a got an offer from on
Yep.
campus, whether it is day zero, day one, day two, all the companies that I sat for the interviews and things like
Mm.
that. I never gave up,
Mm.
right? And I'll try to relate it from what I have learned. Is it is okay to get rejected. It is okay to have or hear the word that you have not been selected. We are really sorry and things like that. What you need to have is never giving up attitude and try to look for opportunities to strive and look back at your failures and see where you made your mistakes, right? There will be nobody who is going to tell you that, okay, there was nobody for me who pointed out that, Shine, okay, this is exactly the mistake that you're making. I remember that I used to go down to the placement cell, you, Mohanty sir, different all the
Yeah.
other faculties in the placement cell who groomed me, right? And those were the opportunities that I grabbed on because I never wanted to give up, and I never felt dejected about the fact that I didn't get into Deloitte. I didn't get into because Deloitte was the first company to get for us in 2015. I didn't get into Deloitte. I didn't get into day one
Day
when
one.
everybody,
You
yeah,
missed day
day one,
one, the
right?
day one train as well.
I did.
It was a passenger
I
train.
did.
Everyone climbed on it. How was the scene in the hostel on the day one day result day?
Result day, I can tell you for a fact that every friend that I had got placed on day one,
Sure.
excluding one.
You.
So yeah. Like I like to say this, I have been luckily unlucky enough to not be placed in day zero, day one, day two. Every company that came in at that moment or at that point of time.
And
But
those that was the year when like hundreds got recruited and they joined those companies.
yeah, yeah,
When I say this thing that guys be prepared to spend the entire year remaining unplaced, or as I like to
Mhm.
term it, yet to be placed, they don't believe me. I hope they trust
Mhm.
you, a person who has been through that and to a new position right
Mhm.
now. I heard you spent the year 2019 in USA, 2015,
Yeah,
2015 without a job, and
yeah,
2019 in USA. Those 3 years must have been
yeah.
radical,
That
right?
happened. Like it's been a bumpy ride. There were a lot of roadblocks. Nothing was easy for me. And that's why I keep on saying be a wolf is because you have to look for opportunity. Nothing will be placed in front of you in a silver platter. That I'm sitting in my chair and then people will be like, oh, come do this job for me and things like that. You have to be proactive. You have to be looking out for opportunities that are presented to you and you have to grasp on them.
Well,
So
talking of your
yeah, it's
opportunities, like you as a
yeah,
fourth year guy, you as a graduate of 2015, and I hear that you are
yeah,
recruiting as well. So now that you are
yeah.
viewing, talking, interacting with fourth year people,
Mhm.
what is the change that has
Mhm.
come between 2015 graduates and 2021 graduates?
The biggest change that I have seen is the knowledge, the knowledge that people have. If I give you an example of what I'm doing right now, and it is very well known in the market, data science, data analytics, automation, languages like Python and things
Yeah,
like that, ML, AI, everybody knows it
buzzwords.
right now. It buzzwords, and it's selling like hotcakes in the market. It's even a part of the curriculum
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now in the
it
college,
is.
right? During 2015, our time, we hardly knew all these words, right? It was not a part of our curriculum. C++, that was all a part of our curriculum. Nobody told us that data analytics is going to be the next big thing, data science is going to be the next big thing, and things like that. And we were not taught anything related to it during college. But now, when I am recruiting folks, I see that people have knowledge, pre-prepared themselves for interviews in those fields. People have already done internships during those fields. They got the opportunity to be introduced in those fields and things like that, which we never got. That's the biggest difference that I see.
All right, so that's a big change that has happened. More information is available to the juniors, to the freshers in this
Yeah.
year, and
Yep.
have the market has also changed and the expectations have changed.
Yeah.
Let's get back to you. As what skills did you develop over the years? I mean, Do you think your skills were an obstacle for you getting recruited? Uh, were you not selected because you lacked some skills?
At that moment, I didn't realize that I lacked few skills, honestly. But then as I gradually went ahead through various interviews, there were certain skills that I lacked, and then I worked on it, and I got better, and that's why I am where I am right now.
Yeah, I mean, you used to get all into all those interviews. I remember calling out your
Yep.
name from the stage in the auditorium, like this guy selected again, written clear again. You went again and again to the interviews,
Yep.
and there that is where you found some sort of an obstacle, and you had to think about it. Can you
Yep.
specify like what was that you had? What game plan did you have to change in order to overcome that kind of a jinx, interview jinx?
Mhm. So I actually never realized initially what the obstacle was, what was stopping me from getting rejected. The main point was the HR interview. I got rejected in all the HR round, which was the last round. And if you remember, I went to you and I asked you about those things. And I will always remember that you asked me to narrate the entire interview scene of Cognizant, like what happened in that room, what are the questions the person asked, what are the answers that I gave, and how I behaved, and the postures and everything like that. And the feedback that I got from you, Mohanty sir, and other professors was me being confident, or you can term it like super confident. People found me arrogant, right? And that was one of the main reasons that I got rejected.
Your
That was the
confidence
conclusion.
was
So
mistaken as arrogance,
yeah,
and that so I think we need to be a bit toned down in our attitude towards the interview. That might be said, but
yeah,
I think that cockiness, a little bit of it, a little bit of that super confidence should be there. I mean, how could you, now that you have gone and addressed crowds of 400 plus
mhm,
in USA
yeah,
on topics
yeah,
like technical things, and I mean that confidence had to be maintained in order to come up and talk to audiences like this, don't you think so?
yeah. You have to. There's a like I believe there's a very fine line of difference between being confident and being overconfident,
Yeah.
right? And if you cross that fine line, that is where your arrogancy kind of creeps in or starts to creep in, right? And that's what I worked on. Like you guys helped me, and all the other interviews I tried to tone down myself. And by toning down, I'm not asking you to, just be silent in the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Don't be confident.
Yeah.
Be confident. That's okay. You should have that glaze in your
Mm.
eyes. You should make that connection with the interviewers, or even with the, like you mentioned, the crowd that I was addressing. I had to keep it interesting. Otherwise nobody will care what I'm saying.
True.
You be confident on what you know.
And let
And
us connect this
that's
confidence to the wolf. I think that
yeah.
that would be the mascot of our podcast today. Be a wolf thing.
Yeah.
Yes, when
Yeah.
you talked about the US experience talking to crowds of 300, 400, etc. But you also talked to
Yep.
clients about business, something that you never prepared for. You
Yep.
haven't done your MBA, but you have already discussed
No.
business with your clients, like pure business. Like,
Yeah.
when did you pick up those skills?
I picked up those skills during my corporate life and also a bit from college,
Tell me
right?
about the college part, because
Because
that is what my kids would love to hear and act it out, because they're not yet in corporate sector. They can only do what they can do from the
yeah,
college. Tell me about the college part.
yeah. Keep your dreams intact and keep working on your dreams. You should have goals in your life. What you want to do, what are the things that actually make you happy? And that's what, like you
And
said, being a wolf is, right?
if they do
Yeah.
things which make them happy, they would always be in KSAC.
Yeah.
They will always be in the stadium. They will always be on the terrace, mixing clouds,
Yeah.
low-lying clouds with high-lying clouds. I think we need to draw a line somewhere between being happy and being ready. Tell them, give them concrete steps to take up about how to be a dreamer and be a practitioner at the same time. Otherwise, we'll lose them.
Be a dreamer. Yeah, be a dreamer, but work on your dreams. Don't be, that, okay, I want to do this, but I will sit down in my hostel room and just dream about it. For me, like, I always loved business side of things. I had a huge interest in finance and things like that. That was not the part of my
Mm.
curriculum, right? It was just purely out of my interest.
Right.
Obviously, in third year, there was a subject on marketing and things like that as a part of the electronics and electrical curriculum. But there were other things that I did. I got the opportunities. Like I don't know if you remember, sir. In 2015, the rupee kind of depreciated a lot compared to the US
Yeah,
dollar,
yeah.
and there was a conference that was organized, and I had a paper publication on that along with my team.
Um,
So
yeah, and
yeah,
that is what you're saying. It's not a part of your curriculum, but you're trying to
yeah,
work on it.
yeah,
Cha.
yeah,
Um, if the kids today would like to do that, which way should they look?
mm,
Where should they, I mean, head out to? I mean, not everyone is interested in finance, but they do have a
yeah,
side that remains to be explored. Is sales and marketing a possibility
yeah.
for them?
If sales and marketing is something that you actually want to pursue and that makes you happy, then the biggest search engine is available to you, Google. Libraries are there, right? You have professors that you can reach out.
Oh, yeah.
You have your faculty who can connect you with people. And just purely out of interest, try to do some research. You know what, like you mentioned, that people will always be in KSAC and things like that. Now, I would like to connect it in a very consulting manner, as it's a part of my job. Okay,
Yeah.
so let's try to make this let me make so KSAC actually teaches you how to be a team player
Okay.
and how to have those, peer connections, public connections. Because being in KSAC, you are working with a team, you
Sure.
are doing something, or you're interacting with people and things like that.
Yeah.
So you are getting that exposure that people who are non-KSAC don't have. So you have an upper hand already above lot of your own peers, and you are already trying to achieve or walk in the path that the corporate currently demand. Because at the end of the day, for us, be working with peers is also a very big KPI, or a factor. KPI is a very corporate term, but I'll simplify it. It's a factor for your own progress, because you cannot be a solo player. Again, wolf reference, wolves hunt in
Yeah.
packs, right? You have to be a team player. And that's what, being in KSAC is actually teaching you how to be a team player. You utilize those.
Well,
Those are hidden
yes,
opportunities.
and this
Yeah.
thing, this total versatility thing also needs to be seen. Like every other branch is
Yeah.
trying to go to every other branch. People have been admitted
Yeah.
to different new streams, and they
Mhm.
are,
Mhm.
I don't know what they want to do. They're pretty confused, and especially this pandemic has upended the entire market.
Yep.
And I think they would
Yep.
love to know about how to tackle this market and come up with a kind of a profile that appeals to the majority of the recruiters so that they can get a job. And they would also like to know
Yep.
what kind of a work culture they should be prepared for. So about the US work
Yep.
culture that you experienced for about 1 year, and the Indian work culture that also they have been, I mean, observing through internships, but they're yet to get another close feel at that. So I'll ask the guys to send in questions. So guys, send in the questions that you would like me to ask Cheyenne for episode number 2, where we discuss US work culture. And if we get sufficient questions for episode 3, and where we will talk about the Indian market, like what kind of jobs are available in automation, analytics, and various ML AI platforms, etc. So we'll ask this
Mhm.
triple E guy who has made it big in the IT sector about how to reach there despite your background, notwithstanding your background. I mean, just forgetting your
Yep.
background or maybe building on it. So we'll have a look at that in the next episode of FodCast. Thank you for coming and watching this. Thank you, Cheyenne, for giving your precious time. We will get you back when I
Thank
get
you, sir.
questions from these people, right? You will definitely give us time, right?
Thank you. Thank you. I will. I will.
Great, great.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, sir.